is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, I am MLB Chatterbox, aka Christian Corey, and you see the title in the thumbnail in today's video. We got some big injury news coming out of MLB these past couple of days. I was supposed to film yesterday, but I woke up yesterday and there wasn't really a lot of injury news that happened the day prior coming out of MLB the past couple of days, so I decided not to film. But today we got some injury news coming out of MLB that happened yesterday and late last night, so we are going to get right into it. So the first big injury news out of MLB yesterday is coming out of the Astros ball club, and that's George Springer, their center fielder. George Springer apparently sprained his wrist, late last night in the game against the Athletics, making a diving play. And this is kind of what it says from the Texas Sports Nation website. It says, Springer underwent an MRI early Friday morning in Oakland. Manager Dusty Baker said the scan, like the x-rays taken in Phoenix on Thursday, revealed no fracture. Baker labeled Springer as day-to-day. So basically, fractured his wrist. It looked like a sprained wrist, initially, and it looked like he's be out for a couple of days. He's day-to-day as of now. I think this occurred in Oakland. It might have occurred in Arizona. I'm not quite sure because they talked about being in Phoenix. So it actually might have occurred in Arizona. But regardless where it occurred, it still occurred, and that's bad news for the Astros. A sprained wrist, I mean, that's kind of like a big thing. Maybe that's not a big deal in like a football or hockey, but I feel like in baseball, a sprained wrist or a sprained ankle or really anything in baseball is kind of like, intensified, I guess, or, is a little more major, I guess you could say, because, a wrist is, pretty prominent when you're, doing anything. And I'm not sure which wrist it was. Was it his left or was it his right? I take it as it's his left, because if he dove, it'd be his left hand. So, because I think he throws right. So I think it was his left hand. When you bat, right-handed, and you're batting, and you swing, and then you let go with the right, and you kind of lead off with the left. I feel like that is could hurt, especially when you make contact with the ball, and you're really trying to swing as hard as you can, especially when they're throwing 95 to 100 basically every guy they throw out there. So I feel like a sprained wrist is a little more severe in baseball. Anything sprained, really, a wrist, ankle, even a finger. Guys, get hurt and they're out for a couple days because of the finger. Because I feel like in baseball, your hands and your feet are especially your hands are very important to you, because all the time you use your hands in baseball. So I feel like a sprained wrist is, they say he's day to day. He could be put on the 10-day DL. So we'll see what happens with that. And I feel like that injury to the Astros could potentially really hurt them in the long run. I mean, again, 60-game season. 10 days is a lot of days. So I feel like they're not saying 10 days because, they want to see how he recovers. Is it a major sprain? I mean, is it not a sprain? Did he fracture it? I mean, you really don't know until, you see how he feels. So I feel like George Springer spraining his wrist is, bad news for the Astros, or could potentially be bad news. We'll see. If he comes back in 3 days and he feels fine, and he can throw and he can hit, I mean, that's great news. So, yeah, that was bang. That's weird. So, yeah, I think that is could go either way for the Astros with Springer and that sprained wrist of his. Second injury news coming out of MLB yesterday came out of Los Angeles, California. The LA Dodgers have some injury news regarding one of their players, and that is Corey Seager, their shortstop. And they played the Giants last night in LA. So it says here, and I'm reading it from the Los Angeles Times, and it says Seager exited Friday's game in the third inning with lower back discomfort immediately after moving to his left on a ground ball to second base. The Dodgers manager Dave Roberts said Seager hurt his back diving for a ball in the second inning. Robert said that Seager was scheduled to undergo test and probably won't play Saturday. So, back discomfort. I mean, he probably tweaked something really in his lower back or his upper back, probably his lower back. If he's, diving for a ball or if he's backhanding it. So I feel like, lower back discomfort is not that big of a deal for the Dodgers and for Seager. I feel like he's just really day-to-day. You see it all the time, especially with infielders. So I feel like Seager being out with, a couple days with a back injury, not that big of a deal. He did undergo Tommy John surgery last season, and also a hip surgery last season as well. That's why, he was out last couple of seasons. But I think Seager's a great player. I just feel like, he's just been having some bad luck these past couple of years with all these injury bugs. They say in the article he's been hitting the ball really good, probably, hitting the ball the hardest out of all the players on the Dodgers these first couple of weeks here in the shortened 2020 season. So I feel like Seager being out, for a couple of days isn't that big of a deal for the Dodgers. They can live without Seager. Seager, they basically, make the playoffs every year. Seager is not that, detrimental when it comes to him being out for the Dodgers. It's not going to make or break them by any means. They're in an easy division. So I think they'll be just fine. It's just a matter of hoping, he'll get back on the field, as fast as he can, and he can continue to rake here in 2020. And you really want to see this guy on the field. So I feel like I said before, we haven't seen him in the past couple of years, even though the Dodgers have been in the World Series, 2 out of the last 3 years. So, I think Seager being out is, a little bit of a bummer. I'd say just a bummer. Really nothing detrimental. I'd say a bummer to the Dodgers and their ball club. But I don't think it's gonna make or break him by any means. And he'll be back. He'll be fine unless something else happens and he has to have surgery on the back. Then that's a whole different story. But as of now, it sounds like he just tweaked it. Maybe a little soreness in the lower back area. So he'll be fine. I think the Dodgers will be fine and can deal with his absence for the next couple of days. Okay, third and final injury report coming out of MLB yesterday involves the Minnesota Twins ball club, the Bomba Squad. I think in my last video I called them the Bomber Squad. It's Bomba. I thought it was Bomber. To me that sounds better, but I guess it's Bomba. Sorry, Twins fans, it's Bomba. Okay, I get it. It's Bomba Squad. But yes, it does involve the Twinkies. Yes, the Minnesota Twins have an injury. That is to their third baseman, Josh Donaldson. Here's an article by CBS MLB. It says Friday night the Twins announced that the third baseman, Josh Donaldson, had been placed on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to August 4th with right calf strain. He injured the calf on July 31st. Apparently hasn't recovered well enough to avoid a stint on the injured list. This is the third time in the last season Donaldson has hit the IL with this calf injury. So obviously this is a reoccurring injury for Donaldson. The calf injury, right calf. So, it's in the leg. Right calf. I feel like right calf is, actually, now that you think about it, it's probably mostly bad for him. Because you think about it, his swing is so violent, and, he uses his leg like every hitter should so much. And if you're right-handed, your right calf is the one that's pushing you forward. And that's, the leg you really twist. So, you really turn that ankle and that back foot and that right calf. And really those calves are what give you that power, to hit the ball far and supply that power from the lower body up. So I feel like, this injury, for Donaldson at least, with his type of swing, because you all know it's very violent, always trying to go yard. It looks like, it seems like he's trying to do that anyways. The high leg kick puts a lot of weight in that back foot and that right calf and that right leg. So I feel like this injury, it could go either way. A calf injury to this guy, and plus he plays third base and, diving and stuff, and, you really got to be on your toes at third base, the hot corner. He might DH a couple of times, but I think he still plays third base for the Twins. But I feel like this injury could go either way for him. He could be fine. He could be out for a couple of days. maybe a week or so. But again, like a week or so in a 60-game season is, you know, a long time. I think he could be out for 10 days, he could be out for 15 days, could be out for 30 days, whatever. You know, with this injury, it all depends how he recovers and how he feels. I mean, you can feel fine walking, but once you really supply that power and put some pressure on that right calf, especially when you swing and you turn those hips, you know, that could irritate that injury once you really put a lot of pressure on that calf and really make it work. So I think that this injury to Donaldson could go 50-50 for him at least. I mean, he could be fine. He could be back in 10 days, and he'll be fine. He'll be back with the Twins matching the ball. Or it could go the other way. He could be out for 3, 4, 5 weeks, maybe a month with this calf injury. It could be detrimental to him and the Twins. Now, I say really more to him. Maybe not the Twins, because the Twins, they got the power, okay? You know, they got the power. They got Rosario, they got Cruz, they got Kepler, they got a lot of guys on that team that can match. And him being out is not going to kill him. It's really not. I mean, they got no competition in that AL Central, really. I mean, unless the Indians somehow get hot, like really hot, then that's the really only concern is the Indians in that division. But I feel like, you know, him being out with that calf, not that big of a deal to the Twins. Really, I feel like it's a bigger deal for him because he wants to get off to a good start. I mean, he's been struggling the past couple of years. He's been really a journeyman, really. You know, a guy you forget about. I mean, you know, MVP in Toronto in 2016, I believe it was. And, you know, then next couple of years, he's kind of fell off, you know, baseball fans' radars the past couple of years, going down to Atlanta. He had a good year in Atlanta, which was really nice. Then he signed here with the Twins, and you're thinking, wow, great, this is great for them. But now he's out with the calf. Like I say, not that big of a deal for the Twins as a ball club and how it affects their season and their, you know, winning percentage and everything and their record. But for him, I feel like it kind of sucks just for him as an individual because he wants to get back out on that field. He wants to play well. He wants to match the ball. And, you know, I feel like that division is easy. And the Twins, you know, will not, you know, feel the absence when it comes to Donaldson and how it affects their season here in 2020. So, yeah, guys, that's all I really got. We got Springer wrist. We got Seager back. And we got Donaldson calf. And that's really about it for today's video. I do want to let you guys know that I'm coming out with a ranking all my MLB hat logos. From here, I'm not going to be ranking these because these are kind of retro and these don't count, like, you know, up here and my Expos one. But all of these back here I'll be ranking 30 through 1, worst to best, based off of logos. I just want to let you guys know that it's all logos based off of my hats. Just the logos that are shown on the hats and what they put on the hats and what the hats I have. Now, I know they've changed logos, like the Indians logo has changed, and the Padres logo has changed, and the Brewers logo has changed, just to name a few. But I'm going to be only ranking, you know, mine that I have here that you see behind me. So I'll be doing that and giving you my, you know, opinions on which is the worst and which is the best. Who's number 1 in logos? Comment down below what you think I'll pick for number 1. That video is coming soon. So yeah, guys, if you like today's video, leave a thumbs up on it. Subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, ring the bell if you want to ring the bell too. Ring the bell's cool. Turn those post notifications on. We are at like 195 subscribers. 5 more away, guys. 5 more away from 200. And yeah, guys, if you like it, subscribe, like, ring the bell, tell your friends. And, yeah, as always, I'll catch you later.